Well, first of all, the kids were adorable. One of them even got to say that was better than playtime, so that was always a crowning achievement.
We all went to the kindergarten center, like the integrated class, and we like did books that teach like morals and stuff, and we kind of like taught them how to ask philosophical questions, and like we like made them rethink things that they already thought like were just like specific things.
We were teaching kids at the kindergarten center that like to think differently, and also that it's okay to like disagree with one another, because I think that when kids are really young, they're taught that this is right and this is wrong, but with what we were teaching, we gave them the ability to like go outside the box and be able to think, well, is it really, like, it's not black and white.
I thought this project was very beneficial for not only like the kids, the kindergarten students, but also the students in integrated. I thought that it was the books that we chose were very open to interpretation, so it really allowed them to question and maybe like think outside their comfort zone, and especially even us, like, you know, ask questions that we wouldn't normally think of asking, because, you know, they would bring it up, or I just felt like it was very fluent and natural.
It was so much fun going there, one. And like I feel like the kids like really connected with this, because like the second time we went, they like actually started asking us questions the way that we like wanted them to.
I think they really like utilize the I agree with, I disagree with, and learn to really interpret their ideas with more in a respectful manner, rather than, you know, butting in quickly or interrupting someone else.
I mean, I definitely learned how to work better with kids.
You have to think that they are at a different level than you, so it made me think like, wow, they're still developing minds, like so am I. I feel like I can kind of relate in a way, you know?
And I think that we really taught the kids a lot about like how to debate successfully. Like we taught them how to say respectfully disagree, and they really loved using that to their peers, and I think it really helped them.
They learn how to like agree and disagree with each other. Like they learn how to do it. So if they didn't agree with someone, they didn't yell at them. They said, "Oh, I respectfully disagree with you," and they formulated opinions, and I think it's just good life skills to have.
Counter that with I respectfully disagree. Can everyone say that together? I respectfully disagree. Okay.
I respectfully disagree.
You do?
Because we never.
Is it like hollow?
Because there's no such
Have you
thing
ever
as
seen
an
any other
apple
principles?
green.
I don't know, I learned to be a little more respectful, I guess, when talking to people, because I saw how they were going about it, so I learned that I have to be a little more respectful.
I remember one kid, I don't remember his name actually, because I was just thinking of everything he was saying, though. He really just loved to participate. He was so excited all the time for every answer he had, even if it was just something someone else had already said or something that, you know, didn't even pertain to what we were talking about. He was just so excited and passionate about his answer. So I really liked him and, you know, his responses. The important book is basically just a book explaining different objects or different places in the world, just explaining simple things about them, and then concluding with, but this is the ultimate most important part of this. For instance, an apple, they'd say the most important thing about an apple is that it's round. However, I thought this book was really great for the kids because they were able to disagree and say, no, but it's this, it's the color, or it's the taste, or, you know, it's the size, something else other than what the book had said. So I thought it was great for them to really, you know, explore their imagination and think of what really was the important thing.
And most important thing about you, like the individual kids. So when we ask them what the most important thing about, let's say, an apple is, they would give us some pretty funny answers, and like they would say, for example, the most important thing about an apple is that you could throw it at your brother, and that would make us laugh. But then they also said some really good things about it. Like they said, the most important thing about an apple is that you don't starve. So I feel like they learned some common sense, and they were able to debate. Like when someone says the most important thing about an apple is the color of an apple, then they could talk about which one's more important and why they think that.
With the important book, when we were talking about like the grass, like what's the most important thing about the grass, some kids were like, oh, well, it's green. And then after some kids were like, well, sometimes it dies and then it like changes color, so you can't say that it's only green. And it was like nice to see them like analyze these things at such, you know, like they're 5. And like to analyze these things and like realize that like things change and that like things aren't important for only one thing.
I think that they learn from the important book that there's not just one thing important about something, that they have to look at every aspect of something.
I think we really got to like what they like to what they actually think about themselves as important. Like some kids, they said that they're important because their mom loves them. So they realized that, maybe they thought that they're important because they have a lot of people who care about them, and I guess that's good.
Frog and Toad, I think that they learned that, you know, being brave, it's not exactly the conventional way where, oh, you know, like the guy, you know, the hero slays the dragon. It also means like just facing your fear. And Frog and Toad, they run away at the end because they've had enough. Like they're scared. And it was interesting for them to see like, oh, like, you know, you could still be brave, but you could still sort of run away, you know, to save yourself. And, you know, self-preservation.
That reminds me of one thing from a Frog and Toad book where we're teaching them about bravery. One kid was saying how like what mattered was that like because they were smaller, that they weren't really brave. So I like got down and I like, because I'm normally like naturally as expected taller than them, so I get down on my knees to seem smaller. I'm like, so am I not brave anymore? To show them how it doesn't really matter like who they are, what they're like, that they can still be brave as long as they just like believe in themselves and stand up to what they fear.
Like a movie character or a book character or someone that's really, really brave, and then I want you to tell me why they're so brave.
Yeah, if you like it. Cooper. Gina and Jones.
Brandon.
Olivia.
Wonder Woman.
Let's go around and make our brave face, okay? We're gonna try to see what a brave face looks like.
We developed a really good relationship with the kids. Like they were waiting for us to come back to speak to them. One of the kids actually asked me to sit next to him on the last day.
I loved it. I loved going with them. I love kids, so it was nice being with them.
It's okay that we don't all think the same thing, and that it's okay to like think different things, and it's okay to like different things, and to like to like interpret different things from the book.
I really like the Kindergarten Center project because a lot of times in school we always teach the kids what to think, but we never really get to teach them how to think. So this was just a good experience because you get their minds thinking like to stray away from just what they're always told and get them to like express themselves with new ideas and concepts that didn't really come into their heads before. And it's good to start at such a young age since they're more impressionable, so that it prepares them for the real world or just their own futures where they might like need to think, or it's better to think outside the box.